Hey, what up? Shit, I'm cold. My nipples all hard. Let let's go. Let's go. Hey, everybody doing all right? Did y'all miss me? I only been gone a week. Y'all didn't miss me. I tell you. So thank you so much for the birthday wishes. I'm 42 now. I'm getting old, man. I started going on live streams when I was 33. I'm sorry, when I was 34? 33? Yeah, 33. No, 32. No. Yeah, 33. Right? Yeah, 33. Oh my goodness. It's been a cold week for pretty much everybody around the United States. And I don't know the other parts of the world. I didn't check the temperatures in other countries. I'm just saying, all right. We got a lot going on with DEI. We got a lot going on with, DOG, and we got a new FBI head person, and the Gulf of America and everything else is going on with a chainsaw from Elon and all of this. They be doing a lot, man. But outside of the distractions, right? Let's get back to what we've talked about before. Okay, we talked about this when we started the series. There was the chapter about polymander, the mind. And Facebook asked you what's on your mind. So we heard from the mind itself, the emperor of the mind, which is polymander. So polymander's back. And this is the mind to Hermes, which means kind of like a from you to me. So it's the mind, or from mind to Hermes. All right. Shout out to Hermes, by the way. Other than that, March is coming up. We're in Pisces season. My birthday just passed. I'm half Pisces and half Aquarius, so I'm happy about the fishy time right now. So I'm happy about that. I heard that it was a 220 and 222 portal. I only heard of the 888 portal or whatever in August, so maybe we went through a portal or whatever. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and start about the mind. And this is pretty awesome, because a lot of people think that oneness is something that's new age. Oneness is not new age. Hermes Trismegistus was talking about it, or the mind was talking about it thousands of years ago. It's not new age. And we will talk about, the 7 heavens or 7 worlds, which I know in Northern mythology, what is it called? The 9 worlds, right? According to Odin. So we'll talk. We've been going through mysteries, right? Last time we went live, we went over some pretty deep mysteries. Okay, so this would be, I don't like to call this lower mysteries, but this is a breakdown of the higher mysteries so you can understand them better, right? And this is still mysteries. This is still Hermetic. So let's go ahead and get started, why don't we? You ready? Okay, come on, let's go.
The mind to Hermes.
The mind to Hermes.
Remember your speech, O Hermes Trismegistus, and call to mind to those things that are said.
Okay.
But I will not delay to speak what comes into my mind.
Okay.
For many men have spoken many things.
They have.
And those very different concerning the universe and good.
The universe.
But I have not learned the truth.
Okay.
Therefore, the Lord makes it plain to me in this point, for I will believe you only for the manifestation of these things.
So I want to break down how it reads. Okay. So when it says, be silent, Hermes Trismegistus, and bring to mind what is said. Okay, so what was just said is what the masses say. Okay, well, everybody told me all this stuff and I don't know what to believe. Okay, so he's just saying, call to your mind what the masses say out there. Okay, here we go.
Then said the mind how the case stands.
So the mind says, so I give answer to what's being said out there to you, Hermes. Okay, just wanted to go over that. Here we go.
God and all.
God.
Eternity. The world. Time. Creation.
So sorry to stop it so much at the beginning, but that's what we're going to be talking about. Okay. God, source, eternity, the world, time, creation, or generation. All right, here we go.
God made eternity.
Okay.
Eternity, the world.
Eternity made the world.
The world, time.
The world made
and time, creation.
Time made creation. That makes sense.
Of God, as it were, the substance.
God is the substance.
Is the good.
The good.
The fair. The blessedness.
That makes sense.
Wisdom.
Yes.
Of eternity, the identity of self.
The identity of self.
Of the world, order.
The world is order.
Of time, the ability of change.
Change.
Of creation, life, and death.
That makes sense.
But the operation of God is mind and soul.
Okay.
Of eternity, permanence, and immortality.
Makes sense.
Of the world, restitution and decay.
Yes.
Of time, increase and decrease.
Uh-huh.
And of creation, qualities.
Yes.
Therefore, eternity is in God.
Okay.
The world in eternity.
The world's in eternity.
Time in the world.
Time is in the world.
And creation in time.
And creation is in time. That makes sense.
And eternity revolves around God.
Okay.
The world is moved in eternity.
The world is moved in eternity.
Time is determined in the world.
Time is determined in the world.
Creation is done in time.
Creation is done. That makes sense.
Therefore, the spring and fountain of all things is God.
Is God.
The substance is from eternity.
It's from eternity.
The matter is from the world.
It's from the world.
The power of God is eternity. And the work of eternity is the world not yet made, and yet continually made by eternity.
At the same time.
Therefore shall nothing be at any time destroyed, for eternity is incorruptible.
Sorry.
Neither can anything perish or be destroyed in this world.
What?
The world being contained and embraced by eternity.
I almost missed it. They were watching me lick on my green apple. Sorry. So, did you hear what it just said? Did that calm down your fears right that quick? It didn't. I gotta repeat it. You missed it? No worries. I'll repeat it. He said, the world cannot be destroyed. The world is part of eternity. So all your fears on the world is going to end. It ain't going to happen. I call witness. The disciples thought the world was going to end. In their time, we still going. Many people have predicted the end of the world happening. It ain't happened. It's still going. But will a flood came? But what about this and that? Those are not destructions to the world. Those are changes. Some people call them resets. Changes. All right, let's continue to listen.
But what is the wisdom of God?
What is it?
Even the good and the fair,
okay.
The blessedness, and every virtue and eternity.
Mm-hmm.
Eternity, therefore, put into the matter immortality and permanence.
Yes.
For the generation of that depends on eternity.
Depends on eternity.
Even as eternity does of God.
Yes.
For generation and time in heaven and in earth are of a double nature.
They're a double nature. Listen.
In heaven they are unchangeable and incorruptible.
Okay.
But on earth they are changeable and corruptible.
Okay, so in heaven they're unchangeable and incorruptible. On earth they're changeable and corruptible. In heaven, everything is incorruptible and unchangeable. Here on earth, they are corruptible and they are able to be changed. Okay? So that's what we talked about in Kabbalion when I introduced Hermeticism, right? We talked about the divine paradox on how everything is unchangeable and changeable at the same time. Wait, let me say it better. The above and the below. Let's continue to listen.
And the soul of eternity is God.
Yes.
And the soul of the world eternity.
That makes sense.
And of the earth, heaven.
Heaven is the soul of the earth.
God is in the mind.
God is in the mind.
The mind is in the soul.
Mind is in the soul.
The soul in the matter.
The soul is in the
all
matter.
All things by eternity.
All things by eternity. That makes sense.
All this universal body, in which all bodies are contained, is full of soul.
Yes.
The soul full of mind. The mind full of God.
These bodies are full of soul. The soul is full of mind. The mind is full of God. Okay? Okay? Here we go.
For within he fills them, and without he contains them, giving life to the universe.
Yay.
Without, he gives life to this perfect living thing, the world.
Yes.
And within he creates all living creatures. And above in heaven he abides in identity.
Above.
But below upon earth he changes creation.
So above, the source abides in identity. Below, you will see source, you will see God in the changes of creation. We'll talk more about this because God is not something, source is not something that's trying to be invisible to you. It's not something that's hiding from you. It's all around you. Every single thing that you can see and you cannot see, every single thing that you can feel and not feel, its source is God. No need to seek and find yourself. Okay? Understand God. Here we go.
Eternity understands the world either by necessity or providence or nature. And if any man shall think any other thing,
God.
It is God that operates this whole. But the operation of God is power.
Yes.
To which none may compare anything, either mundane or divine. Therefore, O Hermes, think none of these things below, or the things above, in any way is like unto God.
Now that's hard. Nothing below or nothing above is even like God. I know. Now, God is the cause of it. But God's source is incomprehensible, so unknowable, so far from it. It's a little bitty cause, but anyway, let me let you listen. It'll make sense.
You err from the truth.
Yes.
For nothing can be like the unlike.
Nope.
And only, and one. Nor ought you to think that he has given his power to any other thing.
One.
For who after him can make anything?
Who?
Either of life or immortality.
Who?
Of change or of quality.
Who?
And himself. What other things should he make?
What?
For God is not idle.
No.
For then all things would be idle.
Exactly.
For all things are full of God.
Yeah.
But there is not anywhere in the world such a thing as idleness.
No.
For idleness is a name that implies a thing void or empty, both of source and action.
Right.
And action itself.
So we know nothing is idle because everything vibrates. So that means everything moves.
But all things must necessarily be made or done both always,
I just said
and according to the nature of every place.
Exactly.
For he that makes or does is in all things, yet not fastened or comprehended in anything.
Okay.
Nor making, doing one thing, but all things.
So this source is in everything, but is not comprehended in it, and it's not seen. Right? So that's where people miss the mark and say, well, where's God? Look into what you see with your senses and what you cannot see with the eyes of the mind. Here we go.
For being an active or operating power and sufficient of himself for the things that are made.
Right.
And the things that are made are under him.
Yes.
Look upon, through me.
Look.
The world is subject to your sight.
Through the mind.
And understand exactly the beauty thereof.
Look through the mind. Look.
A body perpetual for which nothing is more ancient, yet always vigorous and young.
Nothing is more ancient than the body, but yet it's the most vigorous and young. Listen to what I said. Nothing is more ancient than your body, but yet it's vigorous and it's very young because you just got here. I don't care if you're 60, 70 years old, you just got here. Right? But your body is still ancient. Why? Because it has all your DNA strands from every single person in your family from the beginning of time. It's right there inside you. No need to cry over your mom or your dad or your kids, sister, brother, aunts, uncles, grandpa or grandma. They're right there. If you want to see them, look in the mirror. Here we go.
See also the seven worlds set over us.
See the seven.
Adorned with an everlasting order.
See the
and
seven.
filling eternity with a different course.
See the seven.
For all things are full of light, but the fire is nowhere.
Nope.
For the friendship and opposition of dichotomies and unlike become light shining from the operation of God.
Yes.
The Father of all good.
Right.
The Prince of all order and the ruler of the seven worlds.
Now, you got to kind of understand the mystery here to understand what that means, what he just said. This is why I said the Hermes is so deeply connected to narcissism. We're going to go live over this next week. We're going to go live over the secret book called The Origin of the World. Okay? And it's going to further break down what we were talking about Yaltabayoth, which is darkness itself, ignorant darkness itself. Okay? And we're going to say, okay, well, Will, you say everything is all good, but no, I don't know if I see it that way. I understand. We're going to break down that mystery because it's actually Yaldabaoth and Sabaoth that are brothers. Or, sorry, not brothers, father and son. Just like Kronos and Zeus had a fight with each other, Sabaoth and them did too. Had a fight within all the seven heavens. Now, how is this talked about in Gnosticism about the seven heavens and the fight that we're going to talk about next week? And the same thing happened between Kronos and Zeus. These brothers that be fighting, Set and Horus, these brothers are these fathers and sons that be fighting. That's good and bad. We'll go over it. But shout out to the 7 worlds. Now, in Norse mythology, it's 9 worlds. We're going to get to that. You remember, Sophia is up in the 9th heaven, so the 9th is pretty hard to get through, but we're going to get through it. I'll take you through the 7 worlds next week, or it'll take you through the 7 worlds. And then we're going to go all the way to the 13th, the highest mystery there is. And you're welcome. Here we go.
Look also upon the moon, the forerunner of them all,
shout out to the moon,
the instrument of nature,
the moon,
and which changes the matter here below.
The moon.
Behold the earth, the middle of the whole.
Earth.
The firm and stable foundation of the fair world.
It is.
The freer and nurse of earthly things.
Yes.
Consider, moreover, how great the multitude is of immortal living things, and of mortal ones also. Mm-hmm. And see the moon going about in the midst of both, to wit, of things immortal and mortal.
I love you, moon.
But all things are full of soul.
Yes.
And all things are properly moved by it.
Everything.
Some things about the heaven.
Right.
And some things about the earth.
I love it.
And neither of those things on the right hand to the left.
Right.
Nor those on the left hand to the right.
Right.
Nor those things that are above.
Right.
Downward. Nor those things that are below, upwards.
Right.
That all these things are made, O beloved Hermes, you need not learn from me.
Not from me?
For they are bodies and have a soul and are moved.
They are.
And that all these should come together into one is impossible without something to gather them together.
One.
Therefore, there must be some such ones, and he altogether one, God.
God.
Foreseeing that the motions are indifferentiated and plural, and the bodies not unlike, and yet one ordered swiftness among them all.
One.
It is impossible there should be 2 or more makers.
Nope.
For one order is not kept by many. Mm-mm. But in the weaker there would also be jealousy of the stronger.
Right.
And thence also contentions.
Yes.
And if there were one maker of mutable mortal living weights, he would desire also to make immortal ones.
Right.
As he that were the maker of immortal ones would do to make mortal.
Exactly.
Moreover, also, if there were 2, the matter of being one, who should be chief or have power of the course of events?
Ooh.
Or if both of them, which of them the greater part?
Which?
But I think thus, that every living body has its consistence of matter and soul.
Yes.
And of that which is immortal, and that which is mortal and unreasonable.
And unreasonable. Everything.
For all living bodies have a soul.
All of them.
And those things that are not living are only matter by itself.
Everything has a soul. And things that's not a living body is just matter itself. Let's talk about the soul. You know the soul is feminine, right? It's a she. You want to know her name? Her name is Psyche. You want to know another name for her? Mental. The mental, the psyche, the soul is the same thing. And same word. Here we go.
And the soul, likewise, of itself drawing near her maker, is the cause of life and being.
Sorry, I get excited. The soul drawing near her maker. The soul, I'm trying to stay calm, drawing near her maker. Say it for the 3rd time so you can really get it. The soul drawing near her maker. It's the source of all incorruptible things, man. And all immortal things. Don't pay attention to the form. You might have the form of a woman, or you might have the form of a man. Okay? Your soul is feminine. So continue to listen.
And being the cause of life is after...
Hold up. Let me talk about this oneness. Okay? Because next time we're going to talk about 2. We're going to talk about Yaldabaoth and Sabaoth. and how Sabaoth got snatched up to the 7th heaven, which is above the 12 gods of chaos. That's why I'm trying to tell y'all I want to take you above the 12 of the zodiac, which is 12 gods of chaos, above them. Okay? So, Will, if it's Sabaoth and y'all Tabaoth and all these 365 angels and demons that made us and all that you went over last week, then how is it all one? You got the mind, you got all this stuff going on. Remember what we talked about. And he's going to explain it in the same way. The mind is going to explain it to Hermes. Remember, this is the mind, right? Teaching Hermes Trismegistus. And you're listening to it, so you're being taught the same way Hermes Trismegistus did. Let me stop talking and let y'all continue. I'll finish in a little bit.
You're a manner, the cause of immortal things. How then are mortal spirits different?
I lost my thought. So, I said that, remember, the mind, the demerge, y'all to bios, all that stuff are parts of the same one body, the same one. Just like your eyes, your nose, your ears, and your mouth, your cheeks, your eyebrows, all that shit are still part of one face. They're part of one body, your body. You see now how this one can have different parts, and its different parts have different functions, but if you were listening, it was explaining the one's operation. Understand the operations and functions. It operates as masculine. That's why they refer to it as he. Okay? Its function is feminine, and it's making, and it's producing. Because you gotta have the feminine in order to produce. And now you see a little bit more clearly what the last book in Gnostic was talking about, calling the Holy Spirit the mother father. Okay? Mother in her function, father in her operation. Here we go.
From the immortal. Or how cannot he make living spirits that cause immortal things and immortality?
Right.
That there is somebody that does these things is apparent.
Is apparent.
And that he is also one.
Is apparent.
It is also most manifest.
Manifest.
For there is one soul,
one
life, and one matter.
One.
Who is this?
Who?
Who can it be other than the one God?
Will, hold up, Will. It said that there's only one soul. Well, how can you have a soul, Will, and I have a soul too? Whoever watching, I can't see who watching, but all these people you said throughout the world, the mind just told Hermes, how is it one soul? The same way you can have one tree and a whole bunch of branches. Just don't call them branches. Call the branches tree. Or call them branches. Right? Just like we call these a good soul, bad soul, animal soul, dumb soul, ignorant soul, whatever. It's still a soul. Here we go.
Who else can it benefit to make living things, save only God alone?
Who else?
There is therefore one God. For it is a ridiculous thing to confess the world to be one. One sun, one moon, one divinity, and yet to have, I know not how many gods.
What?
He therefore being one, does all things and many things.
Everything and many.
And what great thing is it for God to make life and soul and immortality and change, when you yourself do so many things? For you see and hear, smell, taste, and feel, move, understand, and breathe.
You feel, move, understand, and breathe. You feel, move, understand, and breathe. Listen to what I'm saying. You feel, might be moved, understand, and breathe. It's actually 3. Okay? If you keep up with it, I'm giving you 8 senses. Your movement and walking is your 6th sense. These are your 5. I just gave you 3 more. It's okay. He's going to repeat them again.
And it is not one that sees, and another that hears, and another that speaks, another that feels, and another that smells, and another that walks, another that understands, and another that breathes, but one that does all these things.
I told you.
Yet neither can these things possibly be without God.
They can't.
For as you, if thou shalt cease from doing these things, were not a living spirit.
Right.
So if God should cease from these things, he would no longer be God.
He wouldn't be God.
For if it be already demonstrated that nothing can be idle or empty, how much more may be affirmed of God? For if there be anything which he does not do, then it is he would be imperfect.
Exactly.
Whereas, seeing how he is not idle but perfect, certainly he does all things.
Exactly.
Now give yourself unto me, O Hermes, for a little while.
So he said, Hermes, give yourself to me, which means give yourself to mine for a little while. Here we go. Give yourself to mine with him.
You will thus more easily understand that it is the necessary work of God.
Yes.
That all things should be made or done that are done,
yes.
or were once done, or that shall be done.
Uh-huh.
And this, O best beloved, is life.
Is life.
This is the fair.
This
is the good. This is God.
This is God.
And if you will understand this by work also, mark what happens to yourself when you procreate. And yet, this is not unlike God.
It's not.
For he is not sensible of pleasure. For neither does he have any other fellow workman.
Right.
But being himself the only workman, he is always in the work.
Right.
Himself being that which creates. For all things, if they were separate from him, must inevitably fall and die,
yep.
as there being no life in them. And again, if all things be living spirits, both which are in heaven and upon earth,
mm-hmm.
and that there be made one life in all things which are made by God,
right.
and that is God,
mm-hmm.
then certainly all things are made or done by God.
That makes sense.
Life is the union of mind and the soul.
Listen.
But death is not the destruction of those things that were gathered together,
uh-huh.
but a dissolving of the union.
Okay, so shout out to the union, which that's what yoga means. Yoga means union. Okay? You with me there? All right. Life is the union, okay, of the soul, which likes to go this way to or fro. Soul likes to do left and right. Soul likes to do wrong and evil. Okay? It's the union of the soul and the mind. Okay? That's what life is. That's what you are. This cross. You get it now? All right. Now, death is the dissolution of the union. Okay? Death is not the death of your mind. Death is not the death of your soul. It's the separation from your soul and your mind. Okay, so your soul can go into the matter that it's supposed to go to below, which is where it came from, and your mind can go into the light where it came from. All right? No need to be scared to die. All right? Here we go. We're almost done.
The image, therefore, of God is eternity.
Eternity.
Of eternity, the world.
The image.
Of the world, the sun.
The image.
Of the sun, man.
Shout out to the sun.
But the people say that changing is death, because the body is dissolved and the life goes into that which is untangible.
Listen.
By this course, my dearest Hermes, I affirm as you hear,
yes,
that the world is changed.
I told you.
Because every day part thereof becomes invisible.
Wait, what?
But it is never dissolved.
Right.
And these are the passions of the world, revolutions and occultations. And revolution is a turning,
cycles.
But occultation is renovation.
Cycles.
And the world being all...
It's a turning and a renewing. Listen to what I'm saying. The world, it's a cycle and it's a renewing. It's nothing new under the sun. It's nothing new, but it's stuff that has been renewed up under the sun. We'll digress. It's okay, I digress. We almost
formed, does not have forms lying without it,
yes,
but changes itself into itself.
Into itself.
Seeing then that the world is all formed, what must he be that made it?
What?
For without form he cannot be.
Mm-mm.
And if he be all formed, he will be kept like the world.
Right.
But if he have but one form, he shall be in this regardless of the world. What do we then say that he is?
What do we say?
We will not raise any doubts by our speech, for nothing that is doubtful concerning God is yet known.
Say it.
He has therefore one idea, which is proper to him.
Let's get it.
Which, because it is intangible, is not subject to the sight.
Speak, man.
And yet shows all forms by the bodies.
Yes.
And do not wonder if there be an incorruptible idea.
Don't wonder.
For they are like the processions of speech, which is in writing.
In writing.
For there seem to be high and swelling.
Right.
But they are by nature smooth and even.
They might have missed that. So don't be surprised when they talk about the incorruptible. Okay, which is what can't be corrupted. All right, they're just like words. All right, when you read them in a post, in a book, they're soft. They're just words. When you hear somebody speak them, They come in highs and lows and everything else, but they're just words. It's okay. Here we go.
But understand well this that I say more boldly, for it is more true.
Say it, mine.
As man cannot live without life, so neither God can live without doing good.
That makes sense.
For this is, as it were, the life and motion of God.
Right.
To move all things and to give life to them.
That makes sense.
But some of the things I have said must have a particular explanation.
Explain
Understand
more.
Then what I say.
Explain more, mine.
All things are in God.
Yes.
Not as lying in a place.
No.
For place is both a body and unchanging.
Okay.
And those things that are placed have no motion.
So, now let's break it down further. God is not in a place. Okay? Every place. Not a place.
For they lie otherwise in that which is intangible,
right,
than in the fantasy or to appearance. Consider him that contains all things, and understand that nothing is more capacious
than
that which is incorporeal.
Yes.
Nothing more swift.
Nope.
Nothing more powerful.
Nope.
But it is most capacious,
yes,
most swift, and most strong.
That makes sense.
And judge this for yourself.
Judge it.
Command your soul to go into India.
No, do it. No, fuck that. Do it. Command your soul to go into India. And I guarantee right there it'll be in India. I know you're still in your house like, Will, I'm still here. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're there. Will, I'm still here. I'm pretty sure this is the place where I stay, and that's my kitchen, and this and that. Okay. India was a place that all of them know about. Let's talk about a place that you know about. Think of the place that you work at. You're right there. Just because you think of it and you can see where you work at, you can imagine yourself working there, you're automatically there. You're not imagining, you're there. Anything you think about, any locations that your mind can go because you have a picture of an inclination or you've been there, is there. And that's where we practice meditation. That's where we practice breath work. That's when we practice getting into our light and rainbow body so that we don't have to imagine it. We can actually move with it. I'm talking about the power that's above human-made teleportation. I'm getting off base because I'm going through too deep. Sorry.
Sooner than you command it,
Sorry.
It will be there.
Sorry.
Bid it likewise pass over the ocean,
yes,
and suddenly it will be there.
Your soul can do that.
Not as passing from place to place, but suddenly it will be there.
See, I'm not saying you're going to be in a place, India. We're not talking about place. Here we go.
Command it to fly into heaven, it will not need wings.
Whoop.
Neither shall anything hinder it.
Nope.
Not the fire of the sun.
Nope.
Not the ether. Not the turning of the spheres.
Nothing can stop it.
Not the body of any other stars.
Yep.
But cutting through it all, it will fly up to the last and furthest body.
Sure will.
And if you even wish to break the whole and see those things that are without the world, you are able to do so.
You can do it.
Behold, how great power, how great swiftness you have.
You have.
Can you do all things, and God cannot? After this manner, therefore, contemplate God to have all the whole world to himself, as it were, all thoughts, or intellects.
Yes.
If therefore you do not equal yourself to God, you cannot understand God.
If you do not equal yourself to God, you cannot understand God. Ooh. If you do not equal yourself to God, you cannot understand God. I'll say it again for the third time so you can really get it. You have to become God to understand God. And this is where you get people saying, I am God. And I am. Now, I'm not that source. Okay? But I am that source. You're not that source, but you are that source. You see what I'm saying? You're not your parents or whoever the fuck birthed you. Well, they got to be your parents if they birthed you. That was dumb unless you was a test tube baby. I'm so sorry if you get offended. But you're still your parents. Or you're still the test tube or whatever the fuck you came from. You're still that. Even though you're not your parent and you go by a different name, different look, different type of life and everything, you're still your parents and your grandparents. You're still your parents, grandparents, great grandparents, and all of that shit. That's all you. We almost done.
For the like is intelligible by the like.
Right.
Increase yourself unto an immeasurable greatness, leaping beyond every body and transcending all time.
Transcend.
Become eternity, and then you understand God.
This is what I posted about. Become eternity, and then you can understand God. Here we go.
If you believe in yourself, that nothing is impossible, but account yourself as immortal,
yes,
and that you may understand all things, every art,
yes,
every science,
yes,
and the manner and custom of every living thing.
You
become higher than all height.
Go up there.
Lower than all depths.
Let's go.
Comprehend in yourself the
Hold on. Because they probably missed that. In order to be the highest of all heights, you got to be the lowest as low depths. And that's where people get it twisted. Hi, son. Sorry. In order to be so bright above, you got to be so dark below. Okay? So when you have someone that speaks wisdom of light, when you have someone speaking love and light are the good, what happens is, let's talk about me, for example, right? Somebody finds out about my dark, right? It's not nothing you got to find out. I don't hide it. But once somebody is aware of my dark, sometimes they're like, he's a hypocrite. You know, he's fake. He's this and that. No, I'm light and dark. Don't be too light. Understand, anybody that's too light is also too dark. The problem comes when they're too light and they try to hide they're too dark. And when you become too light, when you don't hide you're too light, and when you don't hide you're too dark, you're going to be rejected by society, because society only wants to see your light because it's caught up in self-righteousness, which is something that's not real. So don't be afraid to share your dark, and I mean your darkest parts of yourself and the lightest parts of yourself, so you can be balanced within yourself. Okay? And it really helps your throat chakra. Stop hiding so much. It's not about speaking your truth or saying things that you never wanted to say that opens the throat chakra. Okay? It's actually opening up and being yourself and admitting what you actually are. You are evil. You do have evil thoughts. You're not a positive person. Yeah, you might be a life coach and all that other shit, Reiki and all of that shit, but you're still evil. And that's fine. All right, here we go. We're almost done.
Qualities of all creatures, of the fire, the water, the dry and moist, and conceive likewise that you can at once be everywhere.
You can.
In the sea, in the earth.
You are.
Then you will at once understand yourself.
See?
Yet not begotten in the womb.
No.
Young, old, to be dead.
Right.
The things after death, and all these together.
You're all that.
As also times, places.
Yes.
Deeds, qualities, quantities.
You're all of that.
Or else you cannot yet understand God.
Yes.
But if you shut up your soul in the body and abuse it, and say, I understand nothing, I can do nothing, I am afraid of the sea, I cannot climb up to heaven,
what do you have to do?
I know not who I am,
what do you have to do?
I cannot tell what I shall be. What do you have to do with God?
So don't sit here. I cannot tell who I'm supposed to be and where I'm at, and I don't know what's going on, and all the world governments are against me. Oh my gosh, I just breathed in some air that they sprayed. Oh my gosh, I just ate some toxic food that the government has spent. Oh my gosh, I'm on the cell phone and everything is again. Oh no, what's going on? That's why it already said in this same book, the Corpus Hermeticum, that is a tortured soul that thinks that everything is against it and everything is conspiring against it. Ain't nothing conspiring against you. The only thing that's conspiring against you is your illusionary thought of you thinking that something is conspiring against you, which is just like imagining that Shrek is really real and attacking you. And it ain't even nothing there. That's how dumb it looks to be caught up in so many fears. And no, you're not making people more aware. When you spread conspiracy theories, what you're spreading is fear, because it ain't no conspiracy against you. The all good is everything is all for you. And the all good is a part of everything. So that means everything is all for you. It's a way of thinking.
For you may understand none of those fair and good things and still be a lover of the body and evil.
You cannot.
For it is the greatest evil not to know God.
Greatest evil.
But to be able to know and to will and to hope is the straight way.
Shout out to
the divine way.
Yes.
Proper to the good.
Proper.
And it will everywhere be with you.
It's with you.
And everywhere be seen of you.
It's seen.
Plain and easy.
Look.
When you do not expect or look for it,
Don't look
it will meet you walking.
It will meet you.
Sleeping.
Yes.
Sailing.
It's everywhere.
Traveling.
Oh, yeah.
By night.
Whoop.
By day, when
Whoop.
you speak,
Yep.
and when you are silent.
Yes.
For there is nothing which is not the image of God.
See?
And yet you say God is invisible.
Wait. You say God is invisible. We just named a whole list of God and source being around you. It's not invisible. It wants to be seen. It's not hiding from you. Like I said at the beginning of the live video, it wants to be seen by you. It wants to be comprehended and understood by you. So choose to understand it. This breaks it down further. Here we go.
Advised, for who is more manifest than he?
Who?
For therefore he has made all things, that you by all things may see him.
See?
This is the good.
It has made all things so that you can see it and know it. It hasn't made all things to show itself off and say, oh yeah, I'm God. Look how small you are. Look how small I made you. Know it made all these things so you can say, oh shit, look at the beauty of God. Not, oh man, that's against me. That's against me. That's against me. That's not why everything is made. We wrapping it up now. This is God.
Of God. This is the virtue, to appear and to be seen in all things.
Yes.
There is nothing invisible.
There's nothing invisible.
Not of these things that are incorporeal.
You better say it, mind.
The mind is seen in understanding.
And
God is seen in doing or making.
God is seen in doing and making. The mind is seen in understanding. So if you can understand the words that are coming out of my mouth in rush hour, I'm just playing. Then you can, then you just seen the mind. Because you comprehend the words that I'm saying. So you're seeing the mind. Okay? You see the works done out here. So you do see God. You know you're not alone. All right? Let's wrap it up.
Let these things thus be made manifest unto you, O Trismegistus.
Unto you.
Understand in like manner all other things by yourself.
Yeah, by yourself.
And you may not be deceived. Chapter 11 of the Common Mind.
Hold up, Common Mind. We're going to do that next. So understand it by yourself. Stop needing a group of people to understand with you. Right now, it's groups of people at churches and shit all around the world that need a group of people to understand with them. Understand it by yourself first. All right, and within yourself. Okay? All righty. So, I hope you enjoyed that. I miss y'all so much. I will, of course, put the link, the audiobook link in the comments. And I will also put the written version in the comments so you can follow word by word and teach yourself. Next week, we will have the origin of the world coming, which will break down the deeper mysteries that we went live over in the secret book of John, because that was pretty deep. So we'll break it down in more detail, those mysteries. But it's very, very awesome. Again, one of my favorite books in Gnosticism is The Origin of the World, just because it breaks it down in more detail to where I can understand, which side I'm on and why I'm on the side if all is one. Because that's kind of hard for me to understand beginning when I began this. And then the week after next, we're going to be back in the Siddhartha Gautama Buddha series. We're going to talk about how Siddhartha found the I meditated with that vibration, and it's very powerful. So even when I say it, it just gets me emotional. So we're gonna see how Siddhartha Gautama Buddha found the how the came back to him. He already knew it, and he actually found it when he was on the way to commit suicide. He was about to throw himself in the water and drown himself, and that's when the word came to him. The word, shout out to the sun, but the word is which means the perfect. All right. So please look forward to that. Other than that, we had, hope everybody had a good Valentine's Day and stuff. We have Easter coming, the bunnies and shit. Oh shit, the sun is shining brighter. Highlight. It's so crazy how it was so cloudy when I started going live, and then we started talking about light, and then we started actually spreading light and wisdom through word, and then all of a sudden the sun shines. I can't make this shit up. But anyway, shout out to the sun, and I hope everybody has a great week. Please stay warm. Please stay safe. You're almost done with the winter. It's the same winter you done went through every fucking year, so don't act like it's something new. Even though we're all about to be complaining about the summer, especially here in Texas, it gets hot. As you can see, we got a sunny day, so we're happy about that. It's been really cold. Again, I hope everybody has a great remainder of the week. Stay strong, stay focused. Remember to go back over this and learn for yourselves, and let's get better and better every day. Stay away from distractions as much as you can. And that's about it. All right. I will talk to y'all later. And I love y'all. I do. It's true. And I love my girlfriend.